Hey, thank you so much for checking out this video. My name is Emma and we are back, this time talking on all things productivity. So I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 top tips to be more productive if you are the type of person who feels like you are running around chasing your freaking tail most of the time and there's so much that you want to do and you just feel like you can't get it all done in time. The first thing to realize is that none of us are born being super productive. It's not necessarily a skill that we get taught at any time in our lives. And for me personally, I have been in the past so unorganized, very much go with the flow person who has been completely winging it. These tools and tips and strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today have come from years of working with different coaches and mentors, figuring my own stuff out and finding the most impactful tools that help me to get more done in less time, because I feel that I'm now at a rate where I'm far more productive than I've ever been. And this is not just about filling up your time with stuff. It's allowing you to get the important things done so that you can actually create more fun time, more free time, more space to actually go out and do the things that you want to do. Because that's what it is to live a life that you love, which is what I am all about helping you guys achieve. I want you to achieve your goals, but I also want to give you the life where you are going out, having fun, doing the things that you crave more of in your life. So let's get into it. So the first one is to slow the fuck down. I know. It's going to sound super counterintuitive. You're like, I don't have time to slow down. I've got to keep on the go all of the time. But when we're go all of the time, not only do we get things wrong, we miss things out, we are always up in our head. And it takes away the joy from life. If you think about some of the most amazing times, the most happiest memories that you have, think about what you were doing during those times. I guarantee you were not rushing around like a mad woman trying to get all the things in. No, the most enjoyable times of your life are when you slow down. And I'd also have you consider that being able to slow down is actually going to give you the capacity to create more. Because it's going to help you to create more clarity, more focus, to be more logical about the things that you actually do want to create. And it's also going to give you that level of sustainability. If you think that you are push, go all of the time, you simply cannot sustain that. So we just need to calm it down and take a breath. So this doesn't mean that you have to go and meditate, although that is an amazing tip and it's something that I work with a lot. But I'm going to revert you back to the video that I did last week, and that was just taking 15 minutes for yourself in the morning. If you could start applying that and using that as your stop, break, breathe, create a little bit of intention, check in with yourself, see where you're at, and then be able to create some focus on clarity moving forward, that's going to be a huge step into helping you to create more in far less time. So that's step number 1, is just to slow down and take a breath. And I definitely check out the video that I did last week on that 15-minute morning routine to get you started. I'll put the link to it down in the description. Step number 2 is to write things down. Overwhelm happens when we have so much going on in our heads. There is only so much that your brain can contain. And whilst thinking that you're going to be able to remember everything, the truth is that we simply cannot do it. And you're asking too much from your brain. We want to be able to offload what's going on in here and to put it down into paper. Because how many times, the times when I don't write things down, this is what I'll do. I'll be like, I'll think of all these different things, usually when I'm out walking or when I'm in the shower and I get all of my best ideas. I'm like, right, know what I'm doing today? And then I don't write it down. And then if it comes down and sit down at my desk to do some work, I'm like, and then you end up procrastinating and doing something totally random. And then you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh my God, I had all these things that I wanted to do and I didn't do any of it. Have you ever done that? Let me know in the comments if that resonates with you, because it's been something that has been so common for me. So I know that I'm not a huge fan of writing massive long lists, but we can just allow ourselves to blur out onto paper. Just start to write things down, get them out of your head. And of course, for this, I use the Get Shit Together Life Planner, but you can use any planner. And if you are feeling disorganized in your life, I highly recommend that you start using a planner. Most planners will have a space on the daily focus sheet. And the Get Your Shit Together Life Planner, we have a space where you can start cultivating a list, where you can get the things out of your head, get them down onto paper. So again, we're creating that clarity about the things that we want to get done. Step number 3 is to simplify it. So when we've got this whirlwind going on and on in our head, so many different things, we've now written them down onto paper. And to simplify, I want you to start to think about applying the 80-20 rule. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. There's a whole book, a business book that's written on it. And this is the idea that 80% of your results will come from just 20% of your efforts. And it's those more impactful items that we want to be taking action on more often. So when we're writing down a list, what we're then going to start to look at is what are the 20% of things that are going to bring about the greatest return, that are going to have the greatest impact on the result that you're trying to achieve. These then become your priority items. They're the 20% items that are going to bring in 80% of your results. So you've probably heard it. This is about working smarter, not harder, because a lot of the things on the list probably don't need to actually be done. And that's when we get into the state of overwhelm, where you're like, oh, I've got so much. But when we stop and objectively look, does this thing actually need to be done? Is it going to have an impact? And is it going to create a difference? If it is, then those are the priority items. Again, reverting back to the planner, this is where you write in your top 3 highlighted items, because those are the ones that are going to help to make the impact, to make the shifts, to create the changes. And I like to use the analogy of weight loss for this, because whenever people look at losing weight, they can go all in and do the hydration, the nutrition, the eat right, the workouts, all of this stuff. But I know from a health and wellness background that 80% of the results that you create will come from just the nutrition section. So the nutrition section is the 20%. If you so focused all of your efforts on that 20%, that's going to bring in the majority of your results. And whether it's applied to weight loss, whether it's applied to your business, whether it's your relationships, there's going to be those little things in each of those areas that massively impact the results that you create. So that's what we want to focus in on when we're looking at simplifying. So we've written down our list. We're now going to simplify by just starting to prioritize those 20% items and start to pick those out, because those are the ones that you're going to want to focus on each day. Number 4 is to set yourself some boundaries. Instead of being a complete and utter yes bitch where you say yes to everybody, you're going to have to start applying some boundaries and looking at where you have to start saying no. I must admit, I've never had a problem with this. I'm quite a selfish person, and so I can easily say no to people. But being a parent, there are now also times when I have to say or set some boundaries with my kids and say, look, this is the time that I've got to do this certain item. Once this is done, yes, then I can focus my attention on you. See, my kids know that if they get up before 7 o'clock, they ain't allowed to talk to me, because between 5 and 7, when I get up, I do my morning routine, I do my hours of creative work or writing, and then the rest of the house gets up at 7 o'clock. So when anybody else gets up, as I don't have a proper office at the moment, they aren't allowed to talk to me. So I have that boundary, I have that expectation. Everybody in the household knows, really don't talk to me before that time because I'm getting shizzle done. We have to be protective of our time. Time is precious. If you're watching this video, it's because you always feel a lack of it. So look at where you can start saying no to people, where you can start setting boundaries. And this isn't about just being a complete and utter bitch. This is about prioritizing yourself first so that you can get done done the things that you need to do, and about filling up your own cup first. You cannot help everybody else around you if you are in this whirlwind like a Tasmanian devil going freaking crazy all of the time. So if you do the things that you know that you need to get done first, prioritize yourself, it then frees up the space. If you've got the space, if you've got the head capacity to then go and help other people, then you can go and do that, knowing that you've got your important things done first. So set those boundaries, honor your time, know that you're worthy of having that time for yourself so that you can be more effective in doing everything else in life. And then the final tip number 5 is to stop and reflect and ask yourself better questions. Again, people who are on the go all the time and doing the same task day after day after day and never really stopping and checking in with themselves, they could be missing out on important elements that could help them improve. So this is why at the end of every week, I ask my coaching guys, so the guys that are in the Shine Squad, and anybody who's come to use the planner, to check in with yourself, to look at what's working, what's going really well, because that could be your 20% item that you could start to double down on and increase the productivity or the amount of things that you could get done from those priority items. So that's giving you the feedback. It's important to look at what's not working. Stop flogging a dead horse. If it's not working and you're not adapting and you're doing the same thing over and over again, then you're going to waste a ton of time. So being able to objectively look and say, okay, well, if this isn't working, how could I do this different? How could I get better? What do I need to learn? What do I need to change? What support do I need to get? And when we're taking the time to reflect, we can be a lot more objective about what is really going on instead of that rush. Again, reflection is a space to slow yourself down, to look at the good, to look at the bad, and be able to make clear intentions moving forward. So those are the 5 top tips. I would love, like, even if you would just take one of those items and start applying it, or take the ones that you think that you sound the like of and just start to put them into your life. I promise that if you start to use them, it's going to make a huge difference. I know it has for me in my business, with my family, in everything that I do, and it allows me to not just be busy all the time, to be able to take the days off, to take the time off to do the things that I want to do in my own life. So as always, if any of those have felt helpful, if you've enjoyed this content, then please do give it a thumbs up, as it does help me to reach more people, and I shall look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching to the end. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Just to be able to give back, I'm giving away a free copy of the Get Your Shizzle Together life planner. All you have to do is click on the like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what your current morning routine is like, and you could be in a chance for winning too.